Working with somebody who can't stand and do a hamstring curl, then it's going to be important that you have an option where they can stay seated, strengthening the hamstrings. We're standing like this and doing a quarter squat or a deeper, whatever, right? You can have the person just hold this pulled in position, the max effort position. I'm hoping you might be able to help me with my father, who is in his 90s and sits in his wheelchair. He has very limited use of his legs, and he requires a mechanical lift to get in and out of bed, but can stand with assistance for short periods to use the commode. Of course, he has hip and knee pain, left leg only, and all that sitting really has made his muscles atrophy. Question: do you have any exercises you might recommend for someone in his predicament, or can you direct me to a compatible video? How can you strengthen the hamstring muscles at home if you can't even get out of a chair? If you have a loved one that you're trying to help build leg strength and to strengthen their hamstrings, but they don't have the muscle yet to even stand up out of a chair, what can you do? In this video, I'm going to show you a hamstring exercise you can set up at home for your loved one so that they can get stronger and hopefully get up out of that chair safely and with better balance. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. So if you're working with somebody who can't stand and do a hamstring curl, then it's going to be important that you have an option where they can stay seated, strengthening the hamstrings. So what I've done is I've taken these two long training bands. So these are very long, light resistance bands, about 41 inches long each, and then I've tied them together and then tied it around a nice solid anchor point so this can't come back and hit me, right? So you don't want to use something that is so light or that might come loose. Then, if you're working with somebody older, I strongly recommend you have some sort of a cuff like this, an ankle belt that they can use. You have this carabiner, you just clip it through the loop here, then put it around the band, and then put it around the lower leg. Somebody who's older, somebody who is chair bound, is probably going to have some discomfort if you just use the thin band. So if you can get a thin elastic training band that's wider, that'll help. But the most comfortable is going to be some sort of an ankle belt like this. You can even get some that are really padded from Pilates stores online. Okay, so once you've got that around the ankle, then what you're going to do is find the distance that gives a light to medium amount of challenge. We're not looking for a heavy duty effort. We're just trying to be able to do 10 to 20 repetitions. You can have the person just hold this pulled in position, the max effort position, and then back. So that just gives the body a chance to learn how to send the contract signal to the hamstrings. It gets some blood going into the hamstrings. You don't have to hold this for super long periods of time, but 3 to 5 seconds, 10 seconds over time. If the person wants more challenge, then you just keep holding it there. And this is really going to help strengthen the hamstrings. It'll get the brain talking to the hamstrings. If the person you're working with has trouble feeling this, it's one trick you can use is use your fingers, put them under their hamstrings. When you feel their hamstrings kick in, then you can tell them like, hey, I feel your hamstrings contracting. Can you? And that's just going to help them get used to paying attention and feeling the sensation of those muscles working. Because if they've been chair bound for a long time and they're just always numbing their hamstrings, they're not going to be able to tell what's happening, right? So you can help them by touching and then telling them, hey, they're firing, can you feel it? And that helps them feel it. Okay, so you're doing 10 to 20 on each side, then you're going to switch to the other side. And same thing, 10 to 20, feel those hamstrings work, do some longer holds if it feels doable and appropriate, and then take about a minute or two rest. You can just chat and then switch back to the other side, right? So that way they get adequate rest, and you do 2 sets. Maybe on the next time you do it, you can do 3 sets. The big thing I want to get across here is you're not going to be doing this for like 5 sets of 20 the first time. That's a terrible idea. So make sure you're just gradually introducing this new stimulus and then see how their body responds. If you're working with somebody who is 30 or 40 years old, you would do the same thing. You don't want to overload somebody to the point of horrible, horrible discomfort. In other words, don't cripple them with soreness. Hey, I want to say a big thanks to Lee and Ralph for becoming members of the Upright Health YouTube channel and becoming assisting muscles. And a huge thanks to John for becoming a prime mover and giving over $20 a month to support this channel. If you want to support me too, you can join me on YouTube. You can find me on Patreon. You can also go directly to my website at uprighthealth.com/donate to see all these simple, easy options to help support this channel. And if you haven't already, get all my freebies at uprighthealth.com/newsletter so that you and I stay connected no matter what the YouTube algorithm or the censors decide to do to my channel in the future. Thanks so much for your support. Let's stay connected and let's get back to the video. All right, so let's talk about some of the different options. We can also set ourselves up so the band is pulling at an angle relative to the body. So then the hip is out into abduction. The leg is turned out. It's no longer straight forward and pointing towards the resistance point. It's out this way. This is just going to help you strengthen some of your hamstring muscles in a slightly different orientation that is also helpful. It changes how you recruit that group. So the hamstring muscles are a group of muscles. You're going to find that doing it this way is going to recruit the hamstrings in a different way, and it's going to help the hip feel stable in a different way. Just think about how your muscles have to work differently if you're standing like this and doing a quarter squat, or standing like this and doing a quarter squat or a deeper, whatever, right? So your muscles have to be used to working in different configurations. Also, you can put it on like this so that the leg is actually being pulled across the midline, and then do those hamstring curls. So it's kind of the opposite of being wide. It's being ultra narrow. It's being pulled across, and then work on that. But again, you don't have to jump into these. These are just options for you. You can use them or not use them. These are just ways to spice things up and see if you can get some other muscles firing so that the person who's in the chair or the wheelchair is able to strengthen those hamstrings in a way that helps them get up, feel more balanced, and feel stronger in the long run. So Eve, this is the video to help you understand what I tried to get across to you in email. If you're not Eve and you found this video helpful, then please click the like button and share this with somebody else you know who needs help helping somebody else build strength in their hamstrings. As for how often to do this exercise, I would suggest that you do it about twice a week, so maybe Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Saturday, and use that as your starting point. Use higher repetitions at a lower resistance, especially if you are working with somebody who is older and advanced in age. You do not want to be doing this at a very high intensity where they can barely do 5. It's just not smart. You're going to twang something in the hamstrings or just cause some sort of problem down the line. So higher repetition, maybe up to 20 repetitions, but lower resistance, and then pay attention to how the person feels. If they get really sore or really stiff, you're gonna need to just ease them into things and not go into doing this every single day. So starting off with once or twice a week, great, and then gradually increase to maybe 4 times a week. In order to help them keep blood moving through their hamstrings. You may want to go up to the higher end if they're constantly sitting, and you want to be thinking about how you can get them to be sitting less while still being safe. Ultimately, if you're sitting all the time, you are crushing the life and the blood out of the hamstrings, so it may be necessary to be doing hamstring exercises more often in order to get the momentum you need to get the person to be able to stand up more so that they're not crushing their hamstrings. So hopefully that's clear. The more you sit, the more the hamstrings die. The more you use the hamstrings, the more they live. But if you do too much of the hamstring exercises, you might get too sore, so you're gonna have to just balance things out. And if you're not yet atrophied enough to be stuck in a chair, but you do still need to rebuild your body, please go to uprighthealth.com/DIY to find a program that'll help you rebuild your body at home. If you'd like to support me and more videos like this in the future, check out the links in the description box for how you can donate to support this channel. I also have a bunch of free YouTube videos to help seniors get stronger and stay independent that you can find here and in the description box. If you found this helpful, please click the like button, subscribe, please, please, please share this, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.